Hello, and welcome back to your South King County real estate update. My name's Sarah Eggleston with Stone Egg Realty at Berkshire Hathaway, and I am back with your local real estate news for the month. Let's go ahead and jump right on into those slides. Right, so it is February 2025, and it's your South King County real estate update. For upcoming classes, I have a class coming up on February 27th at the end of this month. The perfect transition, selling your home and buying your next. We've taught this class once before and brought it back by popular demand. This is a class that is designed for people that currently own their home and would like to use that equity to move on to their next home. So if that's you, I encourage you to join, or if you know somebody that may be interested in this class, please share it with them because there's a ton of valuable information in here where we'll be going over several different ways to accomplish exactly one move while selling your home and buying your next. And I also have my beginner home buying class coming up at the end of March, March 27th. A beginner's guide to home buying, house hunting made simple. So this is a first-time homebuyer class, or if you haven't purchased a home in a while, I would encourage you to join as well. This is just so full of information that'll be a huge benefit to you in your home search. So please sign up, save your spot now. Both of these are virtual workshops, so you can be in your pajamas, grab some dinner, and join us. And I do have my winter buyer and seller guides available, as well as a first-time home buyer guide. So if you are thinking about buying or selling a home in 2025, please reach out and I would be happy to send one of these over to you. And into the news. Seattle area first-time homebuyers may not see much relief this year. So this is from the Seattle Times. It's the monthly recap for January. Home prices increased or remained nearly flat across the Seattle area, and mortgage rates hovered close to 7%. So these higher interest rates become kind of our normal level of interest rates over the last couple of years. It is looking actually pretty similar to last year. Interest rates are not likely to change much this year, but I fully expect prices to continue to go up. And this is from the director of the Washington Center of Real Estate Research. And in January, the median home price in King County was just 0.6% above where it was last year, and it raised to $855,000 for the median home price in King County. For Seattle, it actually did decline a little bit for single family homes. I see that on the line chart here. You can see that we're pretty much in King County right about where we were in January of last year. King County condo prices, on the other hand, this is a totally different story. This is a tale of two markets. There's the single family homes and the condo prices. In Seattle, condo prices raised 28% from a year earlier. On the east side, it was 29% up from a year prior. The sales volume increased 10.6% year over year across the region. This is back to single family homes. Pending single family homes climbed 3% year over year in King County, and single family listings were up 50% in January compared to last year. There is a 63% jump in overall listings in the county. So there is a lot more to choose from on the market than there was 1 year ago. In January, we had a measure of months of inventory of 2.5 months, which is still a seller's market, but it's drifted a lot closer to the balanced market line. So this is a theoretical number. If no new homes came to the market and homes continued to sell at the same rate, we would run out of inventory in 2.5 months. So a balanced market is 3 or 4 to 6 months, depending on who you ask and what metrics it is. But that 2.5 months is definitely not as strong of a seller's market as we've seen in the past. So there are more homes available for buyers to choose from and may have a little bit more time to think about it, get your offer together, and not just have to instantly act when you see the property that you are wanting to purchase. The biggest issue is the lack of inventory. That's driving prices of homes up. So we have been underbuilt for a very long time. There are a few more home construction starts happening, but we are still super short of inventory in our region. We would have room for a lot more homes in our area to satisfy all of the demand people would have for them. And if we look at median home prices for East Side, it is significantly more this year than it was last year, but everywhere else is pretty flat. For condos, however, Seattle East Side and North King have far outpaced the median prices where we were last year. In Southwest and Southeast King, we're pretty flat to where we were 1 year ago. For the number of home and condo sales, we did sell more homes this January than we did last January in all areas except for North King. For condos, Seattle and East Side did see more sales than last year in January, but North King, Southwest King, and Southeast King are pretty flat. Southwest did have a slight decline, and North King and Southeast King are just slightly outpacing where they were last year. So a lot of first-time home buyers are feeling locked out of starter homes. It's just a tough market. Those homes that are at the lower price points have a lot of demand for them. They're competing with investors and flippers, and it's still a tough market in the lower price points there. So while there are a few more things to choose from this year, it's not like you can just breeze through to closing. There may be some challenges getting your offer accepted because there may be more competition than the higher priced homes. Ongoing unaffordability. This article is not nearly as optimistic as I would like it to be, but there is an affordability issue. Home affordability is measured not just by the cost of homes, but by comparing area incomes to home prices and other homeowner costs, such as the estimated monthly mortgage payment. So affordability is an issue, but there are programs to help great renters become homeowners. So if that's you, there are down payment assistance programs, and a lot of people, the barrier to entry is in that down payment. So if you're curious about that, reach out. I'd be happy to have a conversation with you about down payment assistance options in the area you're considering purchasing in. Seattle had the state's highest home prices, but King County was not the least affordable county in Washington this year. It was actually San Juan County because they have home prices that are fairly comparable to King County, but they do have a lower median wage overall. The Federal Reserve did cut the rate last year, the benchmark rate, but last month they did hold steady, saying that inflation remained elevated. Higher mortgage rates have also caused a so-called lock-in effect. We've talked about this in this show before, and that just means that these homeowners that refinanced, either purchased or refinanced when rates were much lower, don't want to sell that house and lose that super low mortgage rate and move into a place where they'll have a higher mortgage rate, possibly not be able to afford as big of a house as they would like to. So those homeowners are just holding on to those rates for dear life and staying put unless they have a compelling reason to move. It's big life changes that generally cause people to want to move, especially now in this climate. If somebody has to move across the country to take care of a family member, or if they have a baby or two and need a larger house, those are the things we're seeing people selling their homes and moving to a different one for. But it's not really a want to market overall. It's normally people that have a compelling reason to want to live in a different house. Barriers to building are also contributing to the shortage of homes in King County. These include higher construction costs and a lack of development space on the western side of the county. Some competition may be receding as highly paid tech workers. They're generally a big part of what drive home prices in the area to go up. And they're just not seeing the same growth in their stock portfolios as they have in the past. So we may see the purchasing climate change a little bit here based on the tech industry. This is a quote from Ramsey Solutions. Even though interest rates are still high, it's a great time to buy a house. The higher interest rates have priced some buyers out of the market, which means you could face less competition when you make offers. Plus, if interest rates do eventually go down, you can always refinance to get the lower rate. And that brings us to our hyperlocal breakdown. For new listings in Kent, Renton, Auburn, and Federal Way, we're up in the amount of new listings coming to the market from 1 year ago and from last month quite a bit. You can see this big jump up here. So December is generally our low point of inventory coming to the market, and we start to see that pick up in January. And it seems to be picking up rapidly this year as far as people listing their homes for sale. And pending sales, it's not quite as dramatic of a jump from last month. In fact, Renton it did tick down ever so slightly from last month, which is a little abnormal, but it's not too crazy. In Kent, we did have fewer pending sales from a year ago by 14%. Renton, Auburn, and Federal Way are all up. Federal Way by quite a bit from a year ago at 29% more pending listings. Median days on market are increasing. So this means that homes are sitting on the market a little bit longer. During the pandemic, it was like 4 or 5 days the whole time. And now we're up to 40 days in Renton, 33 in Kent, 41 in Auburn, and 36 days on market on average in Federal Way. This doesn't mean that some homes aren't selling quickly. The best priced and presented homes still do sell quickly, but there are a lot more homes sitting on the market a little bit longer, dragging the median days on market by quite a bit. For median sales price, we are up in all 4 areas from where we were 1 year ago. 16% in Kent, up almost 9% in Renton. Auburn's actually pretty flat with just a 1% increase, and Federal Way is up about 6%. For our mortgage rates, last time we met, it was a weekly average rate of 6.93, and our daily was at 7.21. And if we bring it to today's weekly average, it fell to 6.85 from last week at 6.87. So we are seeing a downward trend in the average rates. A year ago, it was 6.9%, and we averaged about 7% for most of last year. And this is the 5th week in a row to ease on those rates. For sales of previously occupied homes, those did fall to their lowest level in nearly 30 years. So homes are selling a little bit slower, as we saw, and this is on a national scale since we're talking about mortgage rates, and this is a national metric. And despite the recent easing in mortgage rates, home loan applications fell 5.5% last week from the previous week. Purchase activity was higher than year-ago levels, but many prospective home buyers are waiting for supply and affordability conditions to improve meaningfully before jumping into the market. I would recommend that you at least start the process earlier than waiting. I added this quote from Warren Buffett in here: be fearful when others are greedy and be greedy when others are fearful. So there's a lot of fear in the market right now going, oh, I don't want to spend close to 7% on my mortgage. But when rates go down, if you purchase now, you'll be able to refinance to the lower rate. If you wait, home prices will go up as more people flood into the market. So I would recommend acting sooner and not waiting for everybody to flood into the market, because then you'll be paying a higher price for the home overall. And for today's daily rate, it is 6.89%, so down 0.07 from the day before. And why consider buying now? Higher mortgage rates and winter weather mean less competition. Fear and uncertainty in the market equals opportunity, and sellers who need to sell, it gives the buyers more negotiating power. Like I said, most of the sellers that are listing their homes for sale right now have a compelling reason to move. And if they really, really need to sell, they may be able to give the buyer a few more beneficial points in their offer. So whether that's an inspection contingency or a lower price, things are good for buyers on the negotiating power if the seller needs to sell. Buying off season may feel less rushed. This is the days on market for national numbers. This is from National Association of Realtors. 52 to 42 days on market on average. But things really pick up starting in April, May, June. Usually the peak of the buying market is June. So there'll be more buyers in the market competing for the same homes, and things will typically go quicker. And if we look at prices, prices follow that same trend. So they're generally lowest in January, February, and March. And then April, May, June kind of ramps up. And that May, June, July point is usually the highest median sales price of the year. So if you want to get in and get a deal, then buying in January, February, or March could get you the best benefit. This is a quote from the chief economist of Bright MLS, Lisa Sturdivant. During any given year, home prices tend to be at their lowest point of the year in January or February. Prices typically are lower during the winter because of lower demand. As a result, if you are looking to buy this year, it may make sense to do your home shopping in January or February when you may be able to get a better price. Looking at our mortgage rates over a longer period of time, we did have this run down in September into October, and then we popped back and have been hanging out right around this 7% mark ever since, but we are now on this downward trend. And just one last plug for my upcoming classes. The Perfect Transition, Selling Your Home and Buying Your Next is on February 27th. And A Beginner's Guide to Home Buying, House Hunting Made Simple is on March 27th. So if you're looking at buying your first home or your first home in a while, this is another great class to attend. Tons of great insights and information to help you on your search. And again, if you would like one of those winter buyer or seller guides or your first time home buyer guide, just reach out and I can send one over to you. If you have any questions, please reach out. My phone number and email address are on the screen there. I would love to have a conversation with you about the real estate market in your area or an area you may be interested in. Thank you so much for joining me for this month's South King County Real Estate Update. I'll be back here next month with your local and national real estate and mortgage news. Have a fantastic month, and I'll see you next time.